In the world of tech, there's a huge, multi-million-dollar question that I'm sure keeps leaders up at night. What are we supposed to do with our aging legacy systems? It's one of the most expensive choices a company can make, but it's so often driven by gut feelings instead of actual data. So in this explainer, we're going to build a framework to change that.
First things first, let's just get a handle on the scale of the problem here. Right now, enterprises are spending a staggering 20 to 40% of their entire IT budget just keeping old systems running. That is a massive chunk of money that is not going toward building the future.
I love this way of thinking about it. It's a silent tax. It's this constant drain that pulls your best people and your budget away from doing cool, innovative things, and instead forces them into this never-ending cycle of firefighting just to keep the lights on.
So that really brings us to the two fundamental choices every organization faces. Do you renovate what you already have, or do you just demolish it and start completely fresh? Let's break down exactly what these two paths, refactoring and rebuilding, actually mean. Okay, so first up, we've got refactoring. The best way to think about this is like a strategic home renovation. You're not tearing the whole house down, you're just improving its internal structure, room by room. This usually means changing about 10 to 20% of the code base to clean things up, pay down some of that technical debt, and make the system easier to work with, all without changing what it actually does for the user on the outside.
And then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have rebuilding. This is the full demolition. You're starting from scratch, you're replacing 80% or even more of the code. This is way beyond a renovation. It's for when you have to overcome these fundamental limitations, like maybe your tech stack is completely obsolete, or the core architecture just can't support where your company needs to go.
And when you put them side by side like this, the trade-offs just jump right out at you. Refactoring, it's lower cost, lower risk, and it gives you these nice steady improvements. Rebuilding, though, that's a much bigger swing. It's way more expensive, much higher risk, but the potential for truly transformative innovation is huge. The whole game is about figuring out which path actually fits your company's reality.
All right, let's get to the core of it all. Building a clear, data-driven framework that helps you move away from that gut feeling and toward a decision you can actually stand behind. So the central question is this, right? How do you actually choose? Which one of these paths is going to deliver the best return on your investment? Let's dive into the specific conditions that should point you in one direction or the other.
So you're probably going to lean towards refactoring when the foundation of your system is still pretty solid. This is the right move if your business goals can be met with smaller, incremental improvements, or if you've got tight budget or timeline constraints. It's also the way to go if your organization just doesn't have a high tolerance for risk, or, and this is a big one, if you absolutely need to keep shipping new features while the modernization is happening. It's the pragmatic choice.
But there are some major red flags that tell you refactoring just isn't going to cut it. I mean, if your tech stack is so old you can't even hire developers for it anymore, or if technical debt has just completely taken over, we're talking over 80% of your code, you are past the point of a simple renovation. A rebuild becomes the only logical path forward, especially when your current system is literally blocking a major business transformation.
Okay, so the theory is great, but let's be real. At the end of the day, money talks. So let's build the financial case that you can actually take to the boardroom and get approved.
First up, you have to model the investment. And right away you can see the numbers are, well, they're in different universes. A refactoring project? That might land you somewhere between $500,000 and $1.5 million. A full rebuild, though, that's a much, much larger investment. You're often starting at $2 million, and it can easily climb from there, especially when you factor in complexities like data migration or running two systems in parallel for a while.
All right, now for the fun part, the benefits. This is where you really see the return. I mean, just imagine your maintenance costs plummeting from 40% of your budget down to 15%, or your developers suddenly becoming 30 to 50% more productive, or getting new features to market almost twice as fast. These are the real, tangible gains that make the whole investment worthwhile.
Let's make this super concrete with a scenario. Okay, so a $1 million refactor breaks even in just 13 months, delivering a really powerful 170% ROI. The rebuild, on the other hand, costs 3 times as much and takes over 2 years to pay for itself. But look closer. The long-term annual benefits are double. This shows the trade-off perfectly. Do you want fast, solid returns now, or do you want a bigger, more strategic payoff down the road?
And this chart really says it all, doesn't it? The payback period. With refactoring, you get your money back in about a year,
With rebuilding, you are absolutely playing the long game, waiting more than 2 years for that investment to pay off. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's all about which timeline your business can actually stomach.
But hold on. The decision isn't just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. You also have to take a serious, sober look at the risks that come with each path. For refactoring, the single biggest risk is just underestimating the mess you're trying to clean up. The fix? You've got to do your homework with deep technical audits and build in some buffer time. For rebuilding, the classic monster is always budget and timeline overruns. Here, your best defense is going to be strong governance and a phased rollout plan. Don't try to do it all at once.
So, at the end of the day, it really comes down to this delicate balance. You have to weigh the absolute severity of your technical debt against your long-term strategic goals and, of course, your organization's real appetite for risk.
So if you were to break it all down, what's the biggest driver in this decision? Well, look at this. Overwhelmingly, it's the severity of your technical debt. That's a huge 40% of the equation. Right behind that are your strategic goals. The financials and risk tolerance are absolutely critical, but they tend to follow the lead of your technical and strategic reality. And that leaves us with one final, and I think really powerful question you have to ask yourself. Is your technology a competitive advantage that's propelling you forward, or is it just an anchor holding you back? Your answer to that question? Well, it tells you everything you need to know.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Check out the next video on this topic, or subscribe